focused? Are we focused? Oh, is that a bit straight? Tuck that behind, pretend that doesn't exist. If you've... Hi guys and welcome to another video. If you haven't seen my face before, I'm Katie and this is my channel. I haven't done videos for that long, so if you remember to press the subscribe down below, I would be so grateful. Today's a bit more of like a chilled video because I've had like a really busy week last week, really busy week next week, and I need like something like a quick edit, quick film, bit chatty, bit happy because I'm a bit lively today. I'm all like cosy in my jumper and I've got like a blanket down here, and I just wanted, you know, it's cold outside, so I thought, I don't know what that makes any difference. And as I said, I'm really new to YouTube, so a lot of people don't know anything about me, so I thought, as you can tell by the title, the questions I've never answered tag would be quite apt, and I thought it'd be quite a fun thing to do. So I've got the questions on my phone and I'm just going to get straight on into it. Question 1 is, what's your favourite candle scent? To be honest, I don't really like candles. I like them, but I don't ever light them because my dad thinks they're dangerous, and to be honest, I am the clumsiest person you will ever meet. So in my house, they would be pretty dangerous. I have like a lot of room sprays and like, you know, the reed diffusers, have a lot of those. And my favourite scents are usually like the winter spice, you know, the ones that are like quite gingerbready, quite cinnamon, pumpkin, like really autumnal winter scents, because I don't really spray them that much in the summer and spring. Like, I feel like the time of year for a candle or a reed diffuser is autumn winter, so winter spice is always my favourite. What female celebrity do you wish was your sister? That's a bit of a tricky one. I feel like maybe like Emma Watson when I was younger, because like she would have been able to like help me with my homework because she's really clever and she's really like inspirational, so I feel like I would have developed into like a really powerful, confident, basically like what she is, like, and just a powerful, confident woman, but a bit late for that now. Or I feel like someone like Cheryl and Liam, Cheryl Girl Aloud. I feel like she'd be a really good sister because she's got like flawless hair, makeup and fashion, so like goals, so she could teach me her ways. But then at the same time, I think people like underestimate how like strong-minded she is and like strong-headed, and like I do actually think she's quite inspirational, like, because she's got like Cheryl's trust, and like she used to live on like a council estate and has like worked herself up, so I've always like admired her. Cheryl, out of Girls Aloud, would be an amazing sister, and I feel like she'd be like a bit of fun and like a laugh, and like I feel like that's the sort of sister I'd want. Also, I'm an only child, so I wouldn't even know what it's like to have a sister. What male celebrity would you want as your brother? This is even harder because I don't want my brother to be fit because I can't fancy my brother. That's just a bit wrong. So, ooh. I don't know. Maybe like Joe Sugg. I don't know whether you class him as a celebrity, he's YouTube, but I suppose YouTubers now are. Oh, I've had a text. Like, him and Zoella have like a really good chemistry, and he's funny, but then he's good looking, so I'd have, oh. But I'd prefer him as my boyfriend, to be honest, rather than my brother. But Joe Sugg, funny, he'd banter day after day, and that's what I would love if I had a sibling. Yeah, Joe Sugg, older brother, that'd be sick. How old do you think you'll be when you get married? I've always been like the typical girl who's like dreamt of the marriage and dreamt of like when they have children, the idea of having like a little family unit is like my dream. Get married at about 25. I feel like 25 is a good age to get married. Obviously you can get married at any age, but I feel like 25 is the age I'd want to get married. Do I know a hoarder? I don't think I do. I'm quite bad at hoarding things, like photos and like little scraps of paper from like trips and stuff. I'm really bad at throwing anything like that away, but I like stick them in a scrapbook, so it's not like my room's full of like stuff. She struggles to throw anything away, but it's not like the typical stereotypical like can't walk into the house because there's so much stuff. But then is that just what's portrayed by the media as a hoarder? Ooh, deep. And you do the splits. I bloody wish I could do the splits. How old were you when you learned to ride a bike? I learned to ride a bike pretty quickly with stabilisers. Like I would say when I was 5, I think I had my first bike, and I think I learned pretty quickly. But when I had my stabilisers off, I just don't have any hand-eye coordination whatsoever. Like, I was just wobbling all over the place. So I would say I was probably about 11. I definitely got my bikeability. So if you're in Britain, you'll know what bikeability is. But if not, basically people come into schools and make sure that you are cycle. Like when you're cycling, you're safe and like you know how to do it. And then you do like bikeability level 1, bikeability level 2. And I think there's a level 3, but I only got up to level 2. And then the second one is like road safety. So yeah, probably about 12 when I like could fully safely ride a bike. How many oceans have you swam in? The one, because I can't swim. Like I mentioned this in my first like 10 facts about me video, but I just cannot swim. I'm petrified of the idea, and petrified of the idea of swimming in an ocean even more than a swimming pool, because I could just drown. Like, don't get me started on it. If you want to know the full reason why I can't swim, check out my first YouTube video, which I'll link down below. How many countries have you been to? Well, this video is soon making me out to be rather boring, because another thing I'm absolutely terrified of doing is flying. So I've been to one country, and that's the UK, because that's where I live. But I have travelled a fair bit around the UK. Is anyone in your family in the army? I don't think so. I think there's been like relatives have been in the army. So like my granddad used to be in the army when he was about 19. But obviously that's going back like to the 1940s. Maybe the 1950s. I don't want to offend him. Oops. Great grandparents, I know for definite that they were in the army, but I don't think there's anyone, not a close family anyway, that is in the army. What would you name your daughter if you had one? I'm not going to say my all-time favourite name, because I feel like that's something I want to keep until like I have children. One of my favourite names has got to be Autumn. But I wouldn't call it my child, because me, I don't think I'm cool enough. So like the name Maisie, that's one of my favourite names, Maisie. But as I said, not the one that I would call my daughter. What would you name your son if you had one? Again, I'm not going to say like my favourite name, because private. Like, not that I'm gonna have children anytime soon, but I just feel like it's the sort of thing that like it's got to be sort of like a surprise. So like you birth and then everyone's like, what have you called it, what have you called it? So if I said now, it'd be a bit like, you already knew that you were gonna call it that. Really like the name like Teddy and the name Bear. Like I know that they're both very like related. I really like that for like a little baby, but then I don't know how that would do them through life. Like, what's the worst grade you got on a test? So like an official test, like one of the GCSEs or A levels, would be a D, and that was in French. And then I also got a D on one of the papers in geography A level, but then overall it all worked out fine. So that was fine. But, oh, and I got an E on one of my coursework pieces. That was history GCSE, but then unofficial, so like a mock test. I remember year 11 mock exams, history, I got a G, which was like, that was so bad. I was so bad at history. But then I pulled it back and managed to get an A and a B in the 2 exams. But then I got an E in my coursework, so that pulled it down, which is a bit annoying, but who cares? No one remembers their GCSEs, to be honest. Like, I did my GCSEs 2 years ago and they're already useless to me. Like, I don't really ever use them. Apart from English and maths, they're alright, but no one ever comes up to you and goes, oh, what did you get in your geography GCSE? No one cares enough. Like, they're literally like nothing to worry about. You just need them to get into the next stage, and as long as you get into sixth form or college or whatever you want to do, they're literally pointless and there's no need to worry about them, which I wish I knew at the time. But also, it's sort of an excuse, sort of not an excuse, but I could not do exams. Like in an exam situation, doing the exams stressed me out to the max. Like, I would get, if I sat in the exam hall, get 3 grades lower than what I should be achieving, and then if I wasn't in the exam hall, because they let me sit in like a separate room, I would get 1 grade below what I would get in the class, just because of the pressure. What was your favourite TV show when you were a child? Hands down, Blue Peter on CBC, like once a week, and I watched it way past the age of when you should stop watching children's television. Like, I think I watched it till I was about 14, not like every week, but if I saw it was on and I had nothing to watch, I would happily sit down and watch it. I love how they do bits of everything, and they've got the little dogs and they're like, here's one I made earlier. It's like, it's literally my dream job. If I could do any job in the whole world, to be a Blue Peter presenter would be amazing. I absolutely loved Blue Peter. Have you read any of the Harry Potter, Hunger Games or Twilight series? I own every book to all those series, but I've only read the Hunger Games and Harry Potter. I haven't read Twilight, even though I have got them. I don't really, I've never actually watched Twilight either. Like, I bought the books so I could watch the films and then just gave up on both. But Harry Potter, hands down, is my favourite book, film, everything. Like, Harry Potter is my all-time favourite. Whatever, like, I think I'm even like halfway through one now because I just pick it up and read it whenever I fancy. And then Hunger Games, I really enjoyed those too, but not as much as Harry Potter. Would you rather have an American accent or a British accent? No offence to Americans, but I don't like my accent. Well, I do like, but I just love the British accent. I wish I had more of like a prim and proper British accent rather than like a common British accent. Definitely, hands down, love the British accent. Did my mum go to college? I'm guessing this means university, because I think the questions are American. And no, she didn't go to university. If I went to university, I would be the first person in my family to ever go to university. Are my grandparents still married? The grandparents on my mum's side are still married. Other grandparents are married, but one isn't blood related. But to me, he's still my granddad. Have you ever taken karate lessons? No. I'd get killed. Someone would beat me up. Do you know who Kermit the Frog is? Bit random, but of course I do. Yeah. What's the first amusement park you've been to? St Towers. And I think I went when I was about 12. What language beside my native language would I like to be fluent in? I'm terrible at languages. Like, I can't pick them up at all. But I would love to be able to speak Italian. Do you spell the colour grey G-R-E-Y or G-R-A-Y? And I spell it G-R-E-Y. Is my dad bald? No, my dad isn't bald. He's got a tiny little bald patch, but don't tell him I said that. Do you know triplets? No, I don't know any triplets. I would love to know some triplets though. Prefer the Titanic or the Notebook? Even though the Titanic is a long film, I don't agree with the ending. Hands down, Titanic. Because I just love Leonardo DiCaprio and like the whole like love story and like the fact it's got the historical reference in. Have you ever had Indian food? Oh, I love Indian food. Like Indian takeaways, curries, samosas. Like samosas have got to be in my top 5 foods. I love them, and I love like, I don't like spice, but I like flavoured spice, which is why I absolutely love curries, because they've got all the different spices which all give a different aroma and flavour. Oh, I sound like a chef. What's the name of your favourite restaurant? Love going to Frankie and Benny's. It's like quick and easy but really tasty food, and there's one like by the shopping centre, so if I ever go shopping I'm like Frankie and Benny's, here I go. And there's a really nice pub that's by me that does like amazing food, but obviously if I said the name of it would give away where I lived. So yeah, I really like that. What would your parents have named you if you were the opposite gender? I think my mum once said I would be called James, but she didn't really like any boys' names, so she was glad I was a girl. But yeah, so I think it was James because my granddad's middle name is James, so I think it would have like tied in quite nicely as well. If you have a nickname, what is it? People usually refer to me as Fishy or like Haddock, or like, because my last name is Haddock, so like because it's a fish, like, and it's a bit more of like an odd surname, people do usually refer to me as like Fishy, Haddock, etc., which some people would probably mind, but I actually quite like being called it. Like when I'm at school, like teachers will often just go like Haddock, like that, and I just like know it's me, just answer. But in terms of like my name, because my name is Katie, a lot of people automatically assume that it's okay to call me Kate, but it's not. I hate being called Kate. More of like a take nickname, but they know that I don't mind, so they just get away with calling me Fishy, and not Fishy like in any other sense apart from my surname. Just my favourite person in the world. If I went for family, like it would have to be family, because I just could not pick a specific family member, because that is just like I just couldn't, because if I did I would feel like I was offending everyone else in the family. But I do know that my grandparents are people who I will always, forever and ever look up to. They just inspire me, like, because they've got through like so much life and been so successful and like overcome every situation. They're like my favourite people in the world. But because I don't want to like pick a specific family member, because I couldn't pick a specific family member, I'd have to go for a good old celebrity. Pause the video, comment down below if you can guess who I'm going to say, because I think I've mentioned him there in every single video so far. And that is my man, my fave, Ollie Murs. Like, his beautiful face, his handsome little face, and he's like got the best songs ever. Love Ollie Murs. Would you rather live in a rural area or a suburban area? I'd like to live in a rural area, but that was easy to get to a suburban area. So like, I could just jump in a car or even just walk to somewhere with like a street of shops and like a supermarket and all the essentials, because I don't like the idea of being completely away from everyone, but then at the same time I like the idea of being down a little lane in a little cottage with like a large garden that looks out onto a field, not necessarily my field, but just a field, so like there's not houses like at the back, and then have like some little dogs, and that's just my dream. Like, can you whistle? I did it. You sleep with a night light. I sleep with a night light, but so I can sleep with the light on and I can sleep with the light off. Like, not too fussed, to be honest. Do you eat breakfast every morning? Like quite an early morning, I won't ever eat breakfast. I just can't eat breakfast before 9 o'clock in the morning. Do I take any pills or medication? I take like an antihistamine when it's like hay fever season, but I think that's quite a normal thing to do. And then I also have asthma, so I have two inhalers, which I take one morning and night, and then one if I ever had like an asthma attack. But touch wood, luckily I've never had an asthma attack. What medical conditions do you have? As I just mentioned, I have asthma, and I also have anxiety and panic disorder, which I've touched on more on my blog, which I will link down below. But it's not really, well, it is a medical condition, but it's not the stereotypical. How many times have you been to hospital? For myself, I've been to hospital when I was born, so that's once. And then once I swallowed a piece of metal. Well, I don't actually know if I did swallow it or not, but it, like, we were unsure if I'd swallowed it or not. So I went then, but that was just the A&E, so I don't really class that as going to hospital. And then I had to have an x-ray of my neck, and I had to have acupuncture in my neck because it like was all like strained, and like my shoulders. So like sometimes I can't like turn my neck, like, so that's sort of as far as I can go. And if you look at my shoulders, like one's slightly more higher than the other one. Stayed overnight, thank God, because I hate hospitals. I've also been to hospitals like when my grandparents have been ill, which has been like horrible. Have you ever seen Finding Nemo? If you haven't seen Finding Nemo, I don't think I could be your friend. I absolutely love Finding Nemo. Like little Dory, I love her. Where do I buy my jeans? I buy my jeans from mainly New Look because I like their like disco pant ones, which aren't actually disco pants, but they're basically super high-waisted, super skinny, stretchiest, because my legs and bum and waist, none of them are the same size. Like my legs would probably be a size 8, my bum is a size 10, and my waist is a size 6. Like I can't, they have to be like super stretchy, also super skinny. So yeah, New Look is a great place to go. What's the last compliment you got? I haven't had a compliment today, but that's because I've been basically on my own in my house all day. Last night somebody said on Twitter that they liked my style because I posted like an outfit picture. Or was it Instagram? One or the other. I don't know where I posted it. So that was quite nice. But in person, probably yesterday when I went to school, I got told that I looked nice. So I was like, thanks. You usually remember your dreams in the morning. I don't really try and remember them either, because sometimes they can, like, if I've had like a particularly bad dream, like surely that would make me have a bad day because I could remember the dream that I'd had. So I try and avoid remembering them, to be honest. I don't really tend to remember them. What flavour tea do you enjoy? I'm going to be boring again. Just bog standard English breakfast tea, just builder's tea, just a tea bag. How many pairs of shoes do you currently own? It should be quite easy to work out because I've got like them in shoe dividers, so I know each shoe divider has 12 holes in each thing. So I've got like one full of flat shoes, so that's 12 pairs of shoes. And then in my wardrobe I have all my boots and my heels, so that's probably like, I'd probably say probably like 24 pairs of shoes, maybe like 23 pairs of shoes. Is that a lot? Oh, and then I've got my Converses, which are in the boxes still. 25 pairs of shoes. I don't think that's too bad. Maybe it is. What religion will you raise your children to practice? Personally, I'm not like religious to the extent of going to church every week or anything like that. But I was christened, like all of my family's been christened really. So I would quite like my child to be christened. And I would like to have a wedding in a church, because even though I don't go regularly, I do like the idea. I do like the idea of somebody like watching over me. So at important times, like a child being born and stuff like, and getting married, sometime when I'd want to be blessed, and like I'd want it to be successful. I like the idea of God, so obviously Christianity, because I'm talking about church, but I like the idea of God being able to like bless me and like make sure it all runs smoothly, rather than a non-religious wedding or a non-religious christening or something. Yeah, so preferably Christianity, but as I'm not a full Christian, if the father of the child was of a stronger religion, so if he was Jewish or Sikh, and he was like really, really passionate about his religion, a lot more passionate than what I am, because mine's quite loose. I'm quite loosely religious. I would definitely raise them as whoever had the strongest religion. If you've got any children in the room, don't let them hear the next bit. How old were you when you found out it wasn't real? I think I was about 10. And I think I was about 10 because I remember it clearly, I was in year 6 and I was in a classroom and everyone was saying Santa's not real, Santa's not real. And I remember going home and going, Mom, is it true Santa's not real? And then she was like, what do you think? And then I was like, well, everyone at school said he's not real, and now I come to think of it, like, how does he go to all the houses? And surely, and the presents are in your wardrobe until really like late into the thing, and you wrap all the presents, and the presents have like from Nana and Grandad and from Auntie and Uncle, and they wouldn't, let's say, from Santa if Santa was real. So that's how I found out. So I partly got pushed towards finding out, but my parents didn't have to tell me, and I sort of worked it out for myself. Why do you have YouTube? I have YouTube because I do a blog, and did a blog for like a very long time, probably about 3 years, and I feel like it's just the natural progression, and things I've wanted to do on my blog and thought, oh, I could really do with making a video out of that rather than posting about it, and it just seemed like a good way forward. And so that was the last question. I really, really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment down below, and any video suggestions would be really, really helpful, because not that I'm struggling, but I just want to make content that both you enjoy and me. So yeah, anything like that, comment down below. And also don't forget to press the big red subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week with a new one.